Okay, hi everyone. Thank you all so much for joining today. My name is Mandy and I'm the COO of NextChapter, and co-hosting with me today is Maggie.
Yes.
Maggie is one of our awesome virtual paralegal specialists. So she's going to help me out today in going over the virtual paralegal service that we provide. And but I first wanted to let you know that also at this end of this webinar, we're going to do a Q&A. And we're also going to be giving away one free case for anyone to use this virtual paralegal service to give it a try on a Chapter 7 non-emergency case. So be sure to stick around towards the end. We'll do the drawing at the very end of it. And we also have a link in this call. It says sign up for a call here. And what that'll actually take you to is a calendar where you could sign up for a 15-minute call if you wanted to learn a little bit more about this service and what it provides and how it could work for you and your firm. Because you'll see as we get going that this can be a very customizable feature. So I think it'd be great if you set up a call so we can answer any questions that you have specifically, and we can help you to kind of get that set up and hopefully get you started with your first case. So I encourage you as you're going through today to click on that link and sign up for a call to speak with someone in our virtual paralegal team. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and switch over. So I wanted to switch over to kind of go over a quick agenda here. I'm going to give you a little bit of background information about our company and why we added this service. And then we'll talk about the benefits of using NextChapter Virtual Paralegal. And we actually have one of our happy customers should be joining today, Myrna with Debt Shield. So she's going to be here to present live and talk about her experience with using our service on dozens of their cases, which would be great for you guys to hear directly from a user. Then we're going to go through an outline of the duties that are covered by the virtual paralegal, followed by an example case study to walk you through what the process could look like for you when you purchase virtual paralegal for the first time. And then we'll also do a breakdown of our pricing. So before we dive in, I wanted to give you a little background information on our company and how we got here. Our founder and CEO, Janine Sickmeyer, was a former paralegal turned entrepreneur when she started a virtual paralegal firm from her condo in downtown Columbus. She used all the other systems that were out there to help attorneys prepare their bankruptcies, but none of them met her needs. So she taught herself to code and built a team of skilled developers and created NextChapter in 2013. So we were in development in beta for a little over 2 years before we launched in January of 2016. So now after 3 years in the wild, we're serving attorneys in every district, including Guam and Puerto Rico. Our company is small, but we're mighty. We pride ourselves on our awesome and immediate customer support and delivering features and products that fall within our company's mission, which we decided early on was to help people to get to the next chapter of their lives. I'm personally excited about the virtual paralegal service that we are now offering because it's where everything started for the company for NextChapter. And I was a paralegal myself prior to joining NextChapter. And so Janine brought virtual paralegal back to NextChapter to help all firms, big and small, manage their casework efficiently. Virtual paralegal fits into NextChapter's company mission by providing an extra hand so attorneys can focus on extending their firm's reach and doing so with less stress and decreased expenses. I'd next like to talk about some of the benefits of why you would use this service. NextChapter's virtual paralegal service can be a huge time saver. By allowing a NextChapter assistant to contact the debtor to collect the necessary documents and any information needed to prepare the petition on your behalf, you can save you and your staff hours of time on each case. Our skilled paralegals use NextChapter's tools and features to help streamline your firm's workflow. The virtual paralegal service is an add-on service available for all cases in NextChapter. So you only hire us when you need us. By paying on a per-case basis, you can decrease your expenses instead of paying to hire and manage a lot of in-house staff. And working with a virtual assistant also means that you're no longer tied to the office. So these are some of the few reasons that we think it's a benefit to use this service. But as I mentioned, we wanted one of our regular customers to hop on and to speak about her experiences with using this service. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can share over with Myrna here. Looks like we are waiting for her to join still. So while we are waiting, we're going to go through a little bit more detailed information about this process, and we might have her hop on here in a little bit. We're going to make sure she has the link to join in. Okay, so I wanted to get a little more specific here. And talk with you about some of the duties that are available with each one of the cases. So hopefully, you're considering about using this service for your first case. You might be uncertain what this process looks like for you and your firm. And so that's one of the great things about working with our team. We work with many attorneys with different workflows and processes, and we adapt to the attorney's preferred methods. Some attorneys like to have the VP start from the very beginning before anything has been collected from the debtor, and others like to hire the virtual paralegal once they have the documents and are ready for the data to be entered into the system. So when we start a case for the first time with an attorney that's new to our service, we take the time to establish how the attorney prefers to communicate and their preferences. We save that information so that we know for all future cases for that firm. And it's a great testament that a majority of the attorneys who have purchased the service become repeat clients. And I actually have here. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of go through a little bit more specific of what that could look like for your firm. So depending on what you need and what you prefer, the virtual paralegal is happy to help with any of the following tasks. For the client interview, the attorney can decide if they'd like the debtor to enter their information online through NextChapter. The virtual paralegal can help to set that up and to invite the client to NextChapter. Otherwise, we can call and email to get the documents and information needed as well. We send updated checklists to the client so that they can stay on track as far as getting those documents in and saved into the case. We can also assist with the due diligence searches, such as credit reports, prior bankruptcy search, any of the Kelly Blue Book or NADA searches, real property searches, you name it, all of the due diligence searches needed, we can perform, and those are saved to the case for the attorney to review. We also assist with the input and preparation of the forms. We'll follow up with the client for anything additional needed, and then we'll also assist with preparing the 13 plan if needed and any local forms as well. And really anything in between that may come up from preparation to filing, we are also happy to help with any post-petition work needed too. That's just billed on an hourly rate. So now we're going to walk you through a sample case study to show you what the flow could look like. I'm going to provide an example of the process for an attorney who wants to start the case and enter some basic initial information before purchasing the service. So let's say a prospective client, David Debtor, calls your office and sets up an initial consultation. So you or your secretary starts a new case in NextChapter for David while he's on the phone. And you can collect any basic contact information, name, phone number, email address. Then from right there, you can actually schedule their first appointment. Since David provided his email address, you or the secretary emails him a reminder of the date and time for the meeting and attaches a copy of the document checklist so they can bring any documents they have for the first meeting. So here's a checklist in NextChapter, and you can click on the printer button that will actually generate a PDF that you can email to David. So then the meeting arrives, and at the meeting, you review their income and you go ahead and confirm that they do qualify for a Chapter 7, and you can do so with the means test qualifier in NextChapter. At the meeting, David provides a few paper documents, and he also emailed a few PDFs he had on his computer prior to the meeting. And when he's in the office, you get a scan of his Social Security card and his driver's license. And from there, David decides he wants to move forward with filing, and he pays the fee to your office. You or your secretary can scan the paper documents provided and upload those along with the PDF docs already emailed directly into the client document storage. And then you can also go back and check off any documents in the checklist that have already been obtained. So now you're ready to hire the virtual paralegal to take the reins. From the case dashboard, you can select that you're ready to hire a virtual paralegal. When you do, this modal will pop up and will ask you some initial information to get started. So here we've indicated that David's case isn't an emergency. It hasn't yet been filed, that he has not completed his credit counseling certificate, nor has he been instructions to do so. And you don't really have a preference for the company as well. And that's totally up to you. But for this example, we'll say that you don't have a preference and that you're okay with him using debtorcc.org, which is what we can help set up and invite the debtor to. And then you have 3 authorizations. The first is to allow the virtual paralegal to reach out to the client on your behalf. That's the second authorization. The first one's the actual service agreement. So if you click on that hyperlink when you're purchasing, you can actually download a copy of the service agreement, which will kind of outline the full scope of what's available for the virtual paralegal to work on for this initial fee. And then lastly, authorization to charge your card on file. Then you can add in any additional notes you'd like the virtual paralegal to know right from the start. So in this example here, I put some notes about the fees, that I saved my client documents, anything that might be helpful for the paralegal when he or she hops in and is ready to take the reins. So here's where I'm going to let Maggie take over. This is where, if the case had been purchased, this is where she would hop in and she can talk about her process once the virtual paralegal has been hired for the case.
Hi guys, my name is Maggie again. So typically when I would get a case after you guys have purchased it, I would typically start off with emailing David a document checklist of all the documents that we will need for the case, just so he knows and he has a copy of the checklist. I found it really helpful, and I think a lot of the clients find it really helpful when I give them that checklist, because sometimes they don't have a pen or paper on hand, and the checklist is perfect because they can just look at it and see what they all need. So yeah, that was the document checklist. It was a slide that you guys saw before, but typically I will send that to David, give him an introduction that I'm working with this attorney, and my contact information. I typically give them a few days or so to respond back to the email. And if I don't hear anything back, I usually contact them by phone next. So attorneys have a couple different ways to do the intake portion. I know some attorneys I've worked with, they prefer, some of them do their own intakes, and then some of them have us do the intake, which is perfectly fine. They will have the chance to use, if they want to use NextChapter, which is our online questionnaire. And basically that comes with, if you purchase a case, a virtual paralegal case, that comes with it. Or if they think that their client wouldn't like that, then I can always send them our intake. It's like a PDF, basically asks for all their information and everything like that. As soon as, the case, usually debtors will give me their documents. A lot of them, from what I've noticed, a lot of them email me their documents, which is fine. But they can also place their documents in NextChapter. That's another way. But as they send me their documents, I will save all the documents in the client document storage in NextChapter. Once I have all the documents from David or the client, I will start preparing the petition packet and any local forms that are needed for the filing. It usually takes me a couple days or so after the client sends me all their information to get the petition prepared and sent to you guys for review. As we mentioned, we do have a preferred credit counseling course that your clients can take. I know sometimes they take it before, you guys are going to purchase a virtual paralegal case, which is fine. But if they haven't taken the course yet and you don't have a preferred credit counseling, I can sign them up for this. It would be under your account, and you can kind of track their progress and stuff. But if you don't want an account set up in your name, I usually just give them instructions on how to complete it. I'll send them the hyperlink, and I'll tell them which course and what they have to click on to complete it. Okay, so this is kind of like an email, example email of what it would look like once I send you guys over the petition packet or the forms for review. I will attach the petition packet and any additional forms. And this is basically what it looked like. I'll say, you know, here's the packet for your review. I'll also point out a couple things I notice while I'm working on the petition. Sometimes I notice that the income is a little high or their expenses are high, just so you guys can see, so you're aware of, you know, the problems. Okay, so this is the PACER site. Obviously, when the case has been filed through NextChapter, the filing fees will have to be paid for the case. We can pay the filing fees for you guys. We would just need a credit card on file, and I would need your ECF credentials as well. We can also upload documents to the trustee's office. I know different trustees have different portals that they use. This is one of the portals that I have used before to submit documents. All I would need is their login, is your login information, and on it, and pretty much that's it. And obviously, if it hasn't been set up, it would have to be set up beforehand.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the pricing. And let's see, I also wanted to check and see before we dive into that if we have, hoping Mirna can join us. Okay, while I talk about the pricing, maybe could you go check on that? Yeah, hopefully we're going to get, there might be technical issues with getting her on the call, so we're hoping we can. But otherwise, did want to go over our pricing here. So that was kind of a little walkthrough of what it could look like for you and your firm. So I want to go over the pricing a little bit now. As I mentioned before, virtual paralegal service can be added to any case in NextChapter. The pricing will vary by the case type, if it's an emergency, and if you would like us to prepare the Chapter 13 plan, if it's a Chapter 13 case. If you need post-petition assistance with a case that's already been filed, we're happy to accept work on those, and it's billed at the hourly rate of $50 per hour. If you have a case that's been filed through another software that you would like assistance with, which would require the full case to be entered into NextChapter, we're happy to do that for you and transfer that case over. It does require a lot of manual work because the other software, you know, there's not a really easy way to import data because a lot of the other software companies hold them in proprietary files. So we're happy to manually transfer that over. We would just treat that as a brand new case for pricing purposes. So while we're waiting to see if we can get Mirna on the call, I'm going to hop in here to see if there were any questions that you had. Let's see here. Hopefully everyone's able to hear and see. I don't see any specific questions. We're going to do a drawing here to find out who is going to win a new case. But in the meantime, if you had any questions, feel free to post it in the chat here. Anything that might be you're wondering about this process or what it could look like for you and your firm. And I don't, oh, Todd had a question. Thank you. Let me go back. I must have missed that and I do apologize. Yes, so that's really a lot of, so Todd had the question about in detail about how the docs are collected from clients. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my camera here. Yeah, so that's really what we spend a lot of time on, is finding the best ways to get those documents from the client. So what we use, as we mentioned, NextChapter is a huge help for that. And sorry, I'm going to switch over here. NextChapter is a huge help for it. It's the best way for us to be able to use technology. The clients a lot of times can take pictures from their phones of the documents and upload those directly into NextChapter. So that really makes it more efficient. We really just do a lot of follow-up with them too. We make sure that we're reaching out to them as often as we can to keep them on track with getting the documents obtained. So we really just try to do anything that we can to be effective for it and to kind of save the attorneys time on that. And yeah, it does require a lot of follow-up, but that's what we're here for. That's what we're doing. Does the attorney have the opportunity to make changes before it's filed, and how does that work? Absolutely, 100%. We don't file anything until we have the approval from the attorney. So that's what Maggie was showing with that email, as she would send that over. She will highlight any concerns. So if the virtual paralegal sees like she said, expenses are high, maybe there's something kind of tricky with their income, if there's anything that might raise a red flag or anything that they have questions about or that they want you to clarify or to approve or sign off on, that's going to be included. That's going to be sent to you. That's going to be documented. So a case will never, ever be filed without approval from the attorney. We even have some attorneys who prefer to file it themselves, which is perfectly fine, but we do file them as well. So we kind of just wait until we have that that very clear and concise go ahead before we do file the case with the court. Okay. And are we able to get Mirna on?
Yeah, she said give it 5 minutes if you can.
Okay, any other questions? We'll go ahead and do the drawing. We are, Mirna's going to be joining on if you did want to hear from one of our customers. We apologize about that. She wasn't able to make it on to the initial call, but she's going to be on in about 5 minutes. But in the meantime, unless there's any other questions, and just a reminder that we do encourage you to sign up for a call so that we can talk about your process, your firm, what it looks like, and we can really walk you through. And we take notes on new attorneys as well, like I said. So we're not going to reinvent the wheel every time. Once we learn your process, we're going to document it. And then every time we get a case from you, we know how you prefer it. We're going to save time and we just really get right to work and not have to bug you with questions on how you want your, any preference that you have for communication with you or your clients. If you have any other staff in the office and maybe they work certain parts of the case and we help with others, it's very customizable and we can get that all set up in a quick 15-minute call. And then you're set to just go ahead and purchase when you start a case, and we can help out with that. So I don't see any other questions. So now the exciting part, we are going to draw for someone to get to do virtual paralegal for free. I'll let Maggie draw.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Okay. Michelle Deeb. It's the lucky winner.
Okay, Michelle Deeb. So Michelle, we'll reach out to you just to make sure that you get the information. And no, Andrew, you're not a loser. So if anyone else, I really encourage you to give it a try. Like we said, it's a testament to the service that a majority of the customers who use this service use it for multiple cases. It's not like they use it once and don't use it again. It is, we have some firms who just, have started transitioning to using the virtual paralegal for it. And it's something that we like doing here. It's a very fun service for us as well. Getting to be able to work with the debtors again and getting back to the roots of what the product is here for and helping, again, our mission to help people get to the next chapter of their lives. It's nice because we can be a part of that again. So I'm going to check one more time. Hopefully we have Mirna on, but if not, we'll have to. Hey, we've got another question. What's the best way to get started? I have a 13 case I have to rehab from another attorney. So really the best way to get started, as I mentioned, even if it's been filed, but it's not in NextChapter, and we're really going to have to pretty much re-enter the whole case, that's treated as a new case. So I would start a case in NextChapter for that 13. If you want us to kind of work and, okay, so it has been filed. If you want us to work that case and kind of transfer over the data, if we're working backwards from the forms, then I would just go in, purchase a virtual paralegal. You can mark that it's been filed, but we will still charge for the full fee that you see on there instead of the hourly work, since we are going to have to put the whole case into NextChapter and kind of figure out what needs worked on. But I would purchase it, and then we'll give you a call to talk about it, especially tricky ones like that we have to rehab. We can just get any information from you, save any documents that you have, and let us kind of scan everything and review and see what it looks like. And then we will work the case as much as we can and then send it to you for questions or review. and then we can help you to, we can file amendments, we can file any supplemental work we can do as well. Yeah, we can work on pretty much any scenario. We just need to know what you need from us, and we're happy to do that. Okay, check one more time here for our friend Mirna. Okay. And so, yes, you can contact us by email. I'm going to send that in here. Also use that sign up for a call link too. We can talk with you on the phone, but if you prefer email, I'm going to put that in the chat right now. If you ever have any questions, either to get started about how to get started, what this looks like, or if you already have cases and you have questions, you can reach us at paralegal@nextchapterbk.com. We do have, Maggie is our primary virtual paralegal. We are growing the team, and we have a team of about 6 or 7 in our network now that work with us. And so you are, oh yeah, Todd, I can put the pricing back up here if you would like to see that. Here you go. And I'll even try to zoom in a little so you can see here. So a personal 7 is $300. A business 7 is $350. If it's an emergency, it's $500. And we always encourage you to give us as much detail on that from the get-go. So if there's a reason it's filing, garnishment, share of sale, that date is very important, obviously. So if you could provide that in the notes so we can get started right away. Chapter 13 with the plan is $600. Oh, I don't have it on here, but a Chapter 13 without the plan is $300. We essentially treat that like a 7. So we do know some attorneys prefer to do their own plan. Some want us to work on it. So we do give you that option to purchase a Chapter 13 case without the plan, and we just charge $300 for that. And then if you have a Chapter 11 business case, it's $850, and then additional paralegal services per hour is $50 for that. Oh, okay, and Mirna just joined. I'm going to go ahead. Hi, Mirna. We're going to go ahead and pass this off to you so you can talk a little bit about your experiences and let everyone know what it looks like. Let's see if I can. Here we go. Maybe. No, not yet, Mirna. Let me try again. There we go. Okay, so she should be joining on here now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Maybe we can.
Let's see. I can hear you. I might have to turn off my mic here to make it clear for you. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Mirna, I'm going to turn off my mic. If you just want to kind of just talk a little bit about using this service. And I think if I turn my mic off, we might be able to hear you a little better.
Or if something happens. I have been working with NextChapter for, I want to say, about 6 months to a year now. Can you guys hear me? Am I good? Okay, cool. I've been working with NextChapter for 6 months to a year now. Originally, I was working with Mandy, and then I'm also working with Maggie now quite a bit. I have to say it's been an amazing experience. They really have allowed us to open up an entirely, like a whole additional portion of practice that we probably wouldn't have been able to take on without their help. They are excellent with client communication. They handle, from front to back. The virtual paralegal is is just essential. I am busy myself. We are a solo firm, but we have 3 offices. So it's really difficult for us to have one attorney doing everything or one paralegal doing everything because we're just inundated. I mean, we have, and I would say that we file somewhere around 20 to maybe 20 bankruptcies every month or two, and they're really on top of their game. I'm not sure if you want me to go into specifics, but it's really easy. You go in, you create your clients. You just need to add their name and their basic information. You click on hiring the virtual paralegal, answer the couple of questions they give you, and upload your docs, and you're good to go. They take care of everything. If something's missing from the client, they call the client. I don't know. What else can I say? The price is reasonable as well. And to be honest, they've taught me a lot about bankruptcy as well. They do have an attorney on staff, so whenever I've had a question where something iffy came up, before I even took the client's money and signed them up, I was able to get Maggie to reach out to their attorney and answer a question or two for me. It's just that small attention that you get from them. It makes a world of difference, and it makes it so that you can actually be confident. I've never had a screw up on any of their bankruptcies that they've prepared for me. You look it over. If there's something wrong or whatever, they'll correct. But I've never felt like, oh my God, this is awful work. You know what I mean? You always feel like confident that even if you don't pay quite as much attention to it as you should because you're in a rush, that they've done a good job. And I would say that 99% of the time, I have not found any errors in their work. And they've fixed errors that we have created on our own. So I'm really, really happy to work with NextChapter, and I think that anyone that works with them is going to be more than satisfied. So I don't know if there's anything else you want me to specifically go into, like continuing to use on the website, or I'm not sure. I can't do anything.
No. I think that's awesome. Yeah, no, I think that's going to be helpful for everyone. We could say all day long we're awesome, but it's better to hear it from someone else for people. So no, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for hopping on today, Mirna. I really do appreciate it. We love having you as a customer, and we love working on your cases with you. So happy to hear that we can continue to work with you and have that awesome relationship.
Thanks, Mirna.
Okay. Oops. Okay. I think she lost out on. Sorry about that. Looks like it closed out. Okay. So yeah, thanks again, Mirna. Josh is asking where Mirna files. She's Florida Southern.
Florida Southern, yes.
Maybe a little middle cases as well.
Yeah.
So we didn't talk about the districts. We do have a lot of experience that spans pretty much all over the 94 districts in the U.S. And we do have a ton of resources as well for all those districts. So we're always happy to work with the attorney on any district specifics if it's a district we haven't got our hands wet into yet. But then once we have that information, we're good to go. So we're really building up that knowledge base. And we're paralegals. That's what we do. We figure it out. So we're never concerned about going into a new district. We're confident that we have enough resources. We have connections with the courts and the clerks and paralegals in the area that we are happy to help you in any district that you would like. So is the client able to, I wanted to go back. I did see some questions. The checklist is available in all of your cases in NextChapter. That's not a virtual paralegal feature. That is available anytime you go into the case dashboard. Anywhere you go in NextChapter, if you see that little print button, that's going to turn that section into a PDF. That's a little something that I think people overlook in NextChapter. I think it's a pretty cool tool. You can email it, whether it's emailing the property analysis section to your trustee. People do that. It makes it a nice little PDF. Or if it's just the client document checklist, you can send that to your clients. It updates with how you update it as well. So Yeah, that's not just Virtual Paralegal. We use it. So that's the cool thing. We're using all of the tools to streamline the process in NextChapter. So you're always getting that with the purchase as well. You're getting all the technology that's available and that we can use. And then, so how are the documents sent to us? It just depends on how they prefer. So they can email it to us. They can upload it through NextChapter. We have some clients who use, the attorneys prefer to use Dropbox. They just give us a link. We can use that and upload everything in there. So the answer is however you prefer that be done. And if you don't have a preference, we prefer NextChapter. We prefer it to be uploaded there because it just imports directly into the case. That's the most efficient way to do it. So if it works for you, then that's how we prefer to do it as well. And then signing electronically, we will file the documents that are electronically signed automatically if your district allows it, which is every district except for California Central. So if you're in California Central, you do have to have an appointment with your client to come in and sign the documents. And really, even if you're filing the electronic, we would recommend that you still do a signing with your client to have them come in, review everything. We're happy to review everything as well, but really the attorney kind of should be having that last interaction and that signing for that. But we will file the documents with the electronic signature already on it. Yeah, and then they use DocuSign to get theirs, which is awesome. Any other questions? I don't think I see anything else. So one last reminder, sign up for a call. Let us call you and talk about your process, help you get started on your first case. We're, excited about this feature and we want it to grow as much as possible. So let us know how we can get started with you and your firm and to start working on a case with you. So thanks again, Mirna, for joining us today and everyone for joining today. It was awesome talking to everyone and all your questions. Send up a call, send us an email if you have questions, and we're looking forward to working on a case with you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.